Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So today's deck profile, we're covering Jesmon for BT7. We got some new support for Jesmon, probably the last support we'll see for a little bit until we get that new starter deck. So I wanted to give it one last hurrah, especially before Savior gets limited to 1 at the end of April. So just a few weeks away, we're in April now, so just a little bit of time left with this deck. So definitely want to take advantage of that while you can. Don't forget our memory marker for the month of March that came out was Digimon. So if you're an X-Antibody fan and you want to be playing some X-Antibody in the future, or you're going to just keep playing it as of now, definitely want to get one of these little guys. Super cute memory marker, handmade out of clay by my wife, hand-painted as well. You can find this on our Etsy page, link in the description below. Also, you can find all of our previous memory markers we've had on the channel, as well as some of our Battle Ready Inc. merch. All right, so just kind of taking a look at the deck as a whole here. We're doing a lot of stuff that we've been doing before, between OTKing as well as just doing a nice bit of control with things like Judgment Blade and so on. So let's go ahead and do this card by card review here. First up, we've got Digimon. This is my personal favorite. I think it's very much a personal preference. Whatever 4 babies you want to go with, just go ahead and just run 4 of those. I really don't think this deck needs 5 at all, just pretty solid at 4. But Digimon, just giving a plus 2k. None of the other ones give a 2k buff, and I really like the 2k buff. It only works on piercing, so you're only ever going to get this buff on Jesmon, okay? So, but I mean, really, that's kind of how you just play the deck. Most of the time, you're never going to swing in with any of these other things in security or what have you. So, really, the 2k on the piercing on Jesmon specifically is where it's at. Also, don't mind the alternate arts here. I just kind of was poking around for fun and picked alt arts. Next, we got Huckmon here. This is the original BT6 one. Just one of the best searchers in the game. On play, reveal 5. Add any 2 combination between Huckmons, Jesmons, and Sistermons. That's so good. So many searchers are restricted to like one of these and one of these, you know, but this is just like, hey, any combination of 2. Like, that's, I wish there was more searchers like Huckmon. Huckmon is so powerful because he can just be so, you know, fluid with what you pick. We also got 2 of the new one. I didn't want to go crazy on this one, just because I don't think it's overly necessary. But this is when attacking inheritable once per turn, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Add all cards with Sistermon in their names from among them and add them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck. This is more of a emergency sort of thing, more of an early game. Late game, Jesmon just gets to play them from trash. So being able to search them, I don't think is overly necessary out of the deck, especially if you're just playing them from trash for free anyway. But he is in here just in case of an emergency. We're like early game, he's really, really good for evoing into as your very first evo on top of your babies to get a whole lot of Sistermons into a rotation. But I don't want to maximize on him at the same time because like mid to late game is useless. I've got plenty of Sistermons by that point. So I don't know. He's a little awkward card, not overly necessary, but a nice addition. Next, I got 2 of the Gilmon. This is a kind of a flex spot. I know people really change their mind on which one they prefer. So the main effect here doesn't matter because we're not playing Gallantmon in this build. But the inheritable here is your turn once per turn. When an opponent's Digimon is deleted, trigger, draw 1. Some of the alternatives are when you delete an opponent's Digimon by battle, draw 1, and those aren't once per turn. Like the Biomon, so you could unsuspend with Jesmon using Savior, swing again, delete something else, draw another card. I like Gilmon just because he's so generic. If I swing at security and bow Huckmon, delete something, I can still get my Gilmon trigger for drawing. If I don't have Savior underneath and I don't swing over something, you know, I can still, do other things as well. I can still get my 1 draw out of him. So either way, I think he's just the safer call rather than like the super, like crazy good. I can get multiple draws if I have all these other stars aligning. He's just, Gilmon's like, nah, as long as you delete something, I don't care how, you get your card. So that's what we went with a 4 of. This is like the more ideal Evo target. Huckmon's like that turn 1 choice, but if it's not turn 1, Gilmon is a great target instead. Then we got 2 Gaussmon. This is just Red's Evo reduction blocker, so your opponent can't do those level 5 hybrids that go from 3 Evo down to 1 Evo. This stops that. This is Red's only choice in it. He also gains 3k if you have your turn, your other Gaussmon get plus 3k. So if you get 2 on field, they buff each other to be 5k beaters, which is kind of cool. But really, we're just here for the reduction blocking. Just at a 2 of, you don't need to go too crazy on it. I think our rookie limit is already pretty solid. If you really wanted to, you could drop the new Huckmon and just go 4 Gaussmon. I mean, really, if you want to get multiple Gaussmons on field, get all 4 on field. What is that? You're buffing them by 9k. So all your Gaussmon are 11k rookies. That would be pretty funny. I can't lie. That would be pretty hilarious. I would not mind seeing that. Next, though, is our level 4 lineup. First, we got Bao Huckmon, of course, just a staple for the deck. One, he's just something you can add. So off of like a Huckmon search, if you reveal a level 4, if it was like a Greymon, you can't add the Greymon. But if you're missing a level 4 and you see Bao Huckmon, you can add him. And then also the inheritable of just being, if you have a Digimon, with Sistermon in play, which you should, by the time you're attacking with your Digimon here, you should be able to play one for free or have one in play, but you can delete a 5,000 DP or less. That's going to be most of the level 4s that you have to deal with in the meta. It's going to be, if anyone's running those 1-cost Evo blockers still by some chance, you can pop those. All the rookies you're pretty much taking out, all the Bokomons, being able to pop Bokomons, that sort of thing. The weaker of the level 4 hybrids, you can pop those as well. So just a nice solid card, honestly. He's just really handy. But then we got Greymon. This thing is, I don't know, there's a reason he's so expensive. It just an inheritable, a security attack +1 on a level 4, 2 Evo cost. Like, he feels so vanilla, but he's just so good. If you have him and a savior underneath your Jesmon, that's 4 security checks. Okay. And if you have a tie on field, that's 6 security checks. Even against red, or against yellow, that's really powerful. Checking 6 security, and then you go like Omnimon for game. So he is definitely part of our win con if we want to go the OTK route. So I'm running 4 of him. I know some people only run 3, but honestly, like over half the time, I don't mind him being my level 4 instead of Bao Huckmon. Bao Huckmon is nice because he can get searched really easily, but man, Greymon is just so good. And then I just threw in 2 Monochromons. This is a flex spot, I think, for the level 4s. 1-cost Evo blocker. You don't see too much Jesmon, I would say, right now. You don't see too much blockers either because, like, blue can stun them so easily. Things like that. But you can just kind of look at it. He's just a 1-cost Evo stair step into your next stage. If this is the only level 4 you got, 1 Evo cost, and then boom, go straight into your level 5 and pass turn like that. But whatever you prefer, if you want to drop him for something else, go for it. I was running a Gunimon in this slot before, but a Gunimon always, I felt like I was always having to pass turn with a Gunimon. I just never had the memory to like go a Gunimon swing for game. I'd rather just go Omnimon blitz for game. That's just how it always worked out. But so whatever you prefer in this slot, it's really kind of just up to personal preference. Next, we got Savior Huckmon at a 4 of a beast of a card. There's a reason this is getting limited to 1 at the end of April. Inheritable, when attacking, once per turn. If you have a Digimon with Sistermon in its name, unsuspend this Digimon. Unsuspending a red Digimon, already very powerful. A red Digimon with Piercing, with Security Attack +1 or +2, unsuspending that, insane. Being able to attack into opponent's Digimon by using cards like Judgment Blade, insane. A one-time use, a Delicate Plan, right? So you swing with that one card, it does its security checks, no options, cool. Oh, but that's it. I use my Delicate Plan. Well, Savior's like, okay, let's do it again with a Delicate Plan while it's still active. Just a terrifying card. Savior Huckmon is just insanely good. Its when Digivolving is okay. When Digivolving, you may play 1 Digimon card with Sistermon in its name from your hand without paying its memory cost. Most of the time, you're evoing Savior in Raising Area. Like 9 times out of 10, he's just in Raising Area, not getting this when Digivolving effect. Sometimes it'll matter, sometimes it won't. If you're just trying to like pass turn, you can evo into him, play like a Blanc to get a blocker on field potentially. But yeah, it's just that inheritable is so good. Next is just kind of I wanted to throw both of these out here. Volgdramon was the one I went with before. This was just kind of a vanilla, another security attack +1 like Greymon, but really you want Savior. You really want Savior to be your level 5. So alternatively, you can use him. He's not quite as good for getting that OTK, but he's still close. So a Greymon, a Volgdramon, and a tie, that's still 4 security checks instead of the 6 that Savior provides. So if you just got one like rookie check early game, your opponent's at 4 anyways, so you can clear those last 4 and then still go Omnimon for game. So Volgdramon is just a good like alternative if you don't have the Savior in hand. But I do want to just kind of throw out here a War Graumon. One of the guys at my locals uses him, and honestly has done some really cool things. When an opponent's Digimon is deleted, this Digimon gains security attack +1 for the turn. That's really easy to trigger this. With Jesmon getting piercing, and if you like Judgment Blade, you're always going to be running over your opponent's Digimon super easily. It's the best way to control your opponent's field is just to run over their Digimon and delete them. And then you get your piercing, so you still get your security checks, so you don't really lose out on anything. The only time this doesn't benefit you is if it's like you're going against a hybrid deck and they just have a field of Tamers and there's nothing for you to delete. War Graumon feels really dead then. Also, when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3,000 DP or less. This actually came in handy in our games where we were testing. He was deleting my Bokomons, my memory blockers, any sort of like hybrid searchers. So if you're like playing the Strabimon searchers, he deletes all those really easily. So yeah, he was a pretty interesting include, and 8,000 DP might feel low, but in this format where everything in like security is super low, besides like a couple megas, maybe a Sistermon, most of the time you don't really have much to worry about. So War Graumon is actually surprisingly very handy of a card. So whichever you prefer, Volgdramon or War Graumon, the safe bet or the really spicy bet. Next, we got Jesmon, which we've talked about a ton. But when attacking, you get to play the Sistermon for free from your hand or trash. Remember that, or trash. So mid-game, searchers for Sistermons is really irrelevant because you're just going to keep recycling the ones out of the trash. And then you get that piercing. So when you play another Digimon this turn, you get piercing. You don't have to use his effect to get that, by the way. You could just hard play like a rookie and then swing with Jesmon, and you still get all this nice, spicy text here. And then also plus 3,000. So he's going to be at 14,000 easy, and then Baby Demon is going to bump him up to 16,000, and then boom, you're good. I mean, really, that's the cutoff. You don't even really need CL for any more DP buffs. Like that, those two alone, that's 16,000. More often than not, it should be fine. I think the only issue is maybe against yellow. If you swing in while they have like, the Zephyrmon or the Zoe bumping up their security Digimon, you might use a little bit more DP, maybe. And then we got the Omnimon here, mostly just for the blitz. I honestly just always hold this. Unless I'm literally going to win, I'm just holding this Omnimon in hand. Most of the time I don't need it to blitz over anything. Very, very rarely will I have to go Omnimon blitz, just swing over a threat that is just absolutely terrifying. But remember though, that piercing lasts. So even if you evo on top of Jesmon with Omnimon, as long as Jesmon got that piercing this turn, the Omnimon will have piercing also. So that's really, really cool for clearing a lot of security and clearing your opponent's field. And then I think a lot of people forget this, but he does have a protection effect also. If an opponent's effect would delete this Digimon or return it to the hand or deck, like anything, like delete, hand, or deck, you may prevent it from leaving play by trashing a level 6 card in this Digivolutions card. So yeah, trash your Jesmon to keep your Omnimon on field. A lot of people forget that. I've forgotten it a ton. Next, we've got our Sistermon package. First up, I've got 3 Blanc. I think this is still just the best Sistermon. Play it for free or just hard play it for 3, whatever. Draw a card. I mean, Gabumon is still really good just in blue for when you get to use him. Just on play, draw a card. Pretty solid stuff. And then when you get to play this for free, especially repeatedly over and over, feels really good. And then also, as long as you have a Huckmon or a Royal Knight, which Jesmon and Omnimon both are Royal Knights, you get blocker. All your Sistermon get blocker. So if you only have one block, but you have like all these other Sistermons, they all become blockers. So as long as you say block for the end to block with, all of your other Sistermon will be good blockers also. So very powerful card. Was a 4 of in my previous build, but dropped it down to a 3 just to work in the new Awaken modes, which we'll get to in a second. I've got 3 CL here. I'm not overly sure if it's even needed. I've kind of just running 3 because it also works in with the new Awakened mode as well. But he gives a 2k buff to your Huckmon and your Royal Knights. Remember, this is all your Huckmon, so like your level 3s, your 4s, your 5s, they all get this nice 2k buff, which could be relevant. And then gain 1 memory. Some like really good plays is you can swing with Jesmon, play CL, go back up to 1. Say you evoed into Jesmon this turn. You're at 0 memory. Swing with Jesmon, play CL, gain 1 memory. Unsuspend with Savior. Then you can use like a Judgment Blade or a Delicate Plan and put yourself back to 0, but then you can use those effects as well. So I think that's really, really cool, being able to combo CL into that. Next, we got our Awakens. First is Blanc Awakened. On play, you may place a Blanc from your hand or trash at the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution cards to recover 1. Jesmon being able to recover just feels completely busted. Just the whole concept that somehow Jesmon could recover is just mind-boggling. And then on deletion, return 1 card with Jesmon, Huckmon, or Sistermon in its name other than Awakened, Blanc Awakened, from your trash to your hand. So nice recycle too. Like just that alone is also really good. I think it's also really kind of underrated. Now, 5 play cost is steep. You really need to play this for free, whether you're going Savior or Jesmon. That you really just need to play this for free. You don't want to have to hard play this ever. And then get recovery as well as get some recycling stuff out of trash. Just at a 1 of, I think is fine. Just we get that recycle when you need it in emergencies, and then a nice little bit of recovery, is still pretty solid. And then we've got this is the CL Awakened, or in this case Noir, but it's actually CL for English. But on play, you may place a Sistermon Noir from your hand or trash at the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution cards to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 5 or less. 5 or less is a lot of things. A lot of level 4s are 5 or less. Rookies are 5 or less. Poppin' Bokomons, again, poppin' Bokomons, poppin' memory blockers. Really powerful things here. So Awaken being able to, those really niche situations where you get to pop something very important. I really just focus on Bokomon a lot because he's everywhere and he's very, very strong. And you don't want a Bokomon just sitting on field giving your opponents too much value. And then on deletion, same thing. We get that recycle. So just adding 1 of each Awakened, I think is fine. Just for those niche situations where they really come up, and you just kind of hold on to them until you need them. Most of the time, you should be able to draw into your other Sistermons or play them out of trash. You should be fine. So bump CL up to 3 and Blanc down to 4, and then just added in 1 of each of these things here. Particularly, again, CL, I bump CL up just to go with the Awakened form as well. So that way they kind of combo, makes it easier to play the Awakened mode if you have 3 CL, just for consistency. And then we got 2 tie-in here. Memory fixers are super important. You can just Evo Jesmon into Raising Area and then just wait to your next turn, but I feel like that always gives the opponent a chance to get ready. It's like, oh crap, here comes Jesmon next turn. I need to do something to set up to get ready to deal with it. Whereas if you just have your memory fixer, you just promote up Jesmon or promote up Savior while you're at 3 memory, Evo into a Jesmon, and then you can just start doing things, right? So memory fixer is very important. Also, the security attack +1, which you'll pretty much always have with Jesmon. So just another way to help ensure the OTK. Again, even if you can't OTK, it helps just get your opponent down so low that you should be able to win on next turn. So I really think Tai is the best red Tamer, best memory fixer for pretty much all red decks. Then we got our option lineup here. 3 Judgment Blade. This card just, every time I play it, it just feels like it gets better and better and better. One of your Digimon with Huckmon in its name or Royal Knight in its type can attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon for the turn. Wow, just... that's so good. 1 memory cost, too easy, not a problem. Let me just swing over 2 of your Digimon with my Jesmon piercing. Let me go into my Omnimon now. pierce over a third target. Like, that's a major board clear that I don't think your opponent can come back from, really, truly. I mean, that's very powerful stuff, especially because you're probably clearing big things, because you've got a massive DP buff going on here with that piercing, so your Omnimons are swinging over your opponent's Susanomons. Heck, I mean, Jesmon's probably swinging over your opponent's Susanomons. So Judgment Blade, you don't really need to run removal in this deck as long as you're running Judgment Blades. I really feel really good about that and sticking to that statement. A lot of decks need ways to deal with Susanomon. Jesmon just needs to run Judgment Blade. Also, the security effect is really underrated. You may play a Digimon card with Sistermon in its name from your hand or trash without paying its memory cost. Then you add this card to your hand. Like, what? You get to add it to hand and you get to play something? So let me just play a CL from my trash, gain 1 memory, and boom, it's my turn. Heck yes. Or, oh, let me just play this Blanc Awaken for free, and oh, recovery 1 out of nowhere, and your opponent thinks they've got game on board, and yeah, you just either go Awakened, or, you know, either Awaken. You either clear a Digimon off field, you recover 1, or you go CL and gain 1 memory and bring it to your turn. Like, all 3 of these targets are super good getting hit when Judgment Blade gets hit in security. So just completely throw your opponent off where they think they've got the win in the bag, and then they hit into a Judgment Blade, and the game has turned on their heads. Next, we got 2, A Delicate Plan. This is just, again, those really good situations where you're just ready to go full OTK. You're about to clear 6 security of your opponent. You just slam down this A Delicate Plan and goodbye options. So if you're playing against yellow, or you know, you don't have to worry about the Wyvern's Breath. If you're playing against blue, you don't have to worry about Hammer Spark or Ice Wall, anything like that. Very good position. Heck, if you're playing against Christmas, you don't have to worry about Atomic Inferno bumping up all their stuff and putting in a World of Hurt on you the next turn. A Delicate Plan, just a very powerful card. Absolutely love it. Pretty much mandatory in like all red decks. I think all red decks moving forward will almost forever play 2 A Delicate Plan. And then the last card is kind of a flex spot. If you want to drop this and just bump something else up in the deck, you can go for it. But I really like the consistency boosters. Red Memory Boost, reveal top 4, add any red Digimon card to hand. Yeah, sure, your CLs, it doesn't work on your CL, or your Sistermons, it doesn't work on any of those, but really, sometimes you just need that savior, or you really just need that Jesmon. That's all you need, and you're ready, you're off to the races. Red Memory Boost is just the way to get there. Just a super big consistency. Literally, the best decks in this entire format are the decks that have the most consistency. So when you need consistency in your deck because it's lacking, go to a Memory Boost, because that's definitely going to get you there. Same thing we talked about in the Lord Nightmon deck profile. We were running a couple memory boosts in there just because like the whole deck revolves around getting to that mega. If you don't get into that mega, the deck dies. Okay, so Jesmon is very much like that. If you don't get into a Jesmon, you just lose. Okay, your deck cannot really win all that well unless your opponent just bricks into oblivion. You can't win without Jesmon. So red memory boost for that. And then delay game 2, same kind of concept as before. So tie sets you to 3. You promote up your savior, evo into your Jesmon. Now you're at 0. Pop that red memory boost, gain 2, play a Delicate Plan and Judgment Blade, and like that's straight money. Like I feel like if you can do that, pop both a Delicate Plan and Judgment Blade on a Jesmon before it ever even attacks, and you have a savior underneath, like you should, in theory, win this. Like you should really win that game because you're going to do such a massive amount of damage that I just cannot see you not winning at that point. So that is the total of the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions about anything, definitely put in the comments. If you have any suggestions, definitely feel free to put those in the comments also.